Monte McNaughton is a politician in Ontario, Canada, who is currently serving as Minister of Labour, Training and Skills Development of Ontario. He's a progressive conservative member of the Legislative Assembly of Ontario, who represents the riding Lambton, Kent, Middlesex. He has been a member since the 2011 election. Recently, Minister McNaughton announced changes that would help address the labor shortage by helping internationally trained immigrants practice their profession or trade. And the government works to raise wages to $15 an hour. So, Minister, thank you for accepting our invitation to this interview. First of all, what proposals do you want to see approved?
Well, first off, I'm really excited to be with you today and to talk to your viewers. Everything that Premier Ford and our government is doing is to ensure that workers have more take-home pay and bigger paychecks, as well as we want to strengthen workplace protections for workers and also to spread opportunity to workers to get even better paying jobs. So you're right, we introduced a legislation, Working for Workers Act, which is going to bring in more workplace protections for workers who work through temp help agencies, for example. We're really focused on filling the labor shortage that we have in the province. That's why we're going to recognize foreign credentials for newcomers. So there's a lot happening, but again, we have to build back a better province coming out of the pandemic.
Very well. Minister, how many workers can benefit from these proposals?
Well, we have 316,000 jobs going unfilled today. And we know that only 25% of immigrants are actually working in a field that they've studied or a profession that they've studied in their own country of origin. So we want to break down barriers for them, get them into a better job, something that they want to be doing much more quickly. And we are the first province in Canada to move forward with this type of legislation to help newcomers and fill this labor shortage.
Qualified professionals usually arrive and encounter huge barriers for their technical training to be recognized and to be able to work in their areas. Many hand up changing professions and face surviving jobs. What actually particular will be done for qualified professionals to be able to work in their areas?
Absolutely. I mean, I think of many taxi drivers in Ontario that are qualified engineers or accountants or architects. We want to help these newcomers. I mean, it's an injustice that only 25% of newcomers are actually working in a profession that they want to be working in. So this will benefit tens of thousands of immigrants here in Ontario and fill this labor shortage. We want to ensure that we're just creating this faster pathway into a job. So we want to eliminate a number of language proficiency tests, for example, and get rid of the Canadian work experience barrier that immigrants face.
Very well, Minister. What job opportunities are currently available to immigrants?
That's a great question. I mean, I think of the shortage we have in the skilled trades. 1 in 3 tradespersons today in Ontario are over the age of 55. So we have a looming shortage, whether it's boiler makers or carpenters or steam fitters or pipe fitters. I mean, there's more than 140 different skilled trades to choose from here in Ontario. Many of them are making 6 figures with pensions and benefits. These are the opportunities that are out there that we want to spread more widely and fairly to people to take part in.
Well, Minister, on what day can the proposals be approved? If they are approved, of course, on what day can the proposals be approved?
Well, we're working through the legislature right now to have this law passed. Again, Premier Ford has driven this change to help workers and their families in all of our communities. So we hopefully will have it passed in the next couple of weeks and can get moving forward with the change so workers can benefit immediately from this.
Very well. Let's talk about the raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. How can employers cope with the increase as they try to recover from the pandemic?
Well, this is going to benefit 760,000 workers on January the 1st. So the general minimum wage is going up 65 cents an hour to $15 an hour. That means a pay increase of about $1,400 per year per worker. And for those working in restaurants as liquor servers, they're going to see their pay increase from $12.55 an hour to $15, which is over $5,000 a year in pay increases. So this is a boost for workers. These have been people that have been on the front lines, serving all of us and our families during this pandemic. And of course, we've seen the prices really increase. I mean, I think this week a liter of gas is between $1.47 and $1.51. Things are going up, and we need to ensure that the minimum wage goes up.
Very well, Minister. Is this value adequate given the high cost of living in the province of Ontario, which together with British Columbia has the highest values for rent, property purchase, food and transport?
Well, again, we're doing everything to increase pay for workers and workplace protections. This is only a beginning. There's a lot more to come. In fact, we announced in our fall economic statement this week that the minimum wage will also increase next October. So we're going to continue bringing in a number of changes to support workers and their families. I also want to point out, I'm really excited because we're investing hundreds of millions of dollars in retraining and upskilling and training workers for even better jobs. So we have a second career program that any worker that's been impacted by the pandemic, if they lost their job, had their hours reduced, they can qualify for up to $28,000 per person to be retrained for a better job close to home. And this also will help not only increase paychecks, but also fill the labor shortages that small businesses face.
Thank you so much for this interview, Minister. It was a pleasure for me. Thanks.
A pleasure for me too, and stay safe, everyone.